Okay, hello everybody. It's 12th of December 2025. We are making this conversation finally. Uh, well, we can have a code name AI before Christmas. At least this is what I will call it temporarily. And we have a guest here um, with us, Slavko. Is it the correct way to pronounce?
Yeah.
So Slavko Medvedev, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to be with you.
So, and we have multiple reasons. So it's just nice to talk and chat about anything like about AI and other items. And we can actually start from AI news readout. But also, I want to say that also one of the reasons that we are talking now with Slavko is that he inspired us and me like in building these AI agents, AI chatbots with sort of a twist of personality and sort of digital twin aspect, because we never had that idea before. We were building some solutions for businesses, but this is also an interesting direction, an interesting idea. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. How are you doing, Slavko? All good? You know, in Portugal? How's the climate there? Is it cold or warm enough?
Thank you. I'm good. In Portugal during winter, it's usually pretty good outside and freaking cold inside. So yeah, as you can see by my outfit,
Yeah, we have similar black hoodies and stuff, but yeah. So you're saying cold inside, so you should go outside to get warmer.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And this is problem for like almost all the apartments, excepting the very like recently built ones.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we'll go.
I hope you can still handle and manage this. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's start with talking about some AI news. So and Slavko, feel free to come in with any comments or ideas if you have from your side. So I wanted to actually start with this one. So recently, it was just this week, Anthropic has announced that they are donating Model Context Protocol to Linux Foundation.
Agentic Foundation.
Agentic Foundation directed under Linux Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Right. Wow. So, do you use MCPs at all, by the way, Slavko?
Well, not directly at the moment. So I think I had some course on MCP on deep learning AI just to get the overall understanding, but no, I didn't like build any MCP servers or myself, or didn't like start any local MCP servers so far. So I'm just in the mode of like passive reader of the news. Yeah, I think the most recent one that I really liked is that Google Cloud started like offering like MCP for managing its cloud infrastructure, cloud services. Yeah, so next time I will. Yeah, next time I will start building something on Google Cloud. I definitely will give it a try.
I'm similar. I was like really excited about MCPs earlier this year, like I think in April, and then I was carried away with other work, so I don't do much like with MCPs. I have like so many plans, but to use it like actively. We also built MCP for our platform for the product, but again, I just need more time to kind of dive deep a bit better and to build things with MCPs. Obviously, like back in April, so there was like, and earlier this year, I was actually surprised, but also was a positive surprise that Anthropic developed MCP's Model Context Protocol, but it didn't. I think it was in the end of last year when it was released, beginning of this year. And then only a couple or 3 months passed, and then the others and players in ecosystem started to adopt it. So Sam Altman said on March, end of March, that we're excited to add support across our products. So OpenAI also adopted it, which was a big thing. And then yeah, so and now finally it looks like what they're doing is they're they're putting it together. So basically they're deciding, okay, we are big players in this field. We are not going to fight around different standards, protocols. We are going to support this one protocol. At least this is how it looks on the outside. On the inside, some people say, okay, it's still not ideal because this foundation will be governed and managed by big players, and it's not like fully sort of like, it's not like open source Linux or something. But we'll see. I guess there is a positive direction here. Right. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, like you know, PyTorch, Facebook, like Protobuf, Golang, TensorFlow, Google. So
yeah, it's great for the ecosystem. I guess that's what you're saying. I agree. So okay, cool. Let's move on. Other things that we have more funnier news.
Yes, so second news is about McDonald's. They decided to generate ad with neural networks and got a real like horror results with distorted faces. And what is interesting, they work on it for 50 days, so it's almost 2 months. 10 people run thousands of prompts, and results still so. The company has already removed this video, but as you know, in the internet, if something gets inside, is there forever. And after this ad, many people started hating McDonald's for its poor use of AI. And Taras will share us a video, and also I will have a question for you.
Let's watch it, right?
No, we do not hear any sound. But yeah, but I get the idea.
Marvelous. So
yeah, I have a question. Was it released like for like particular European market? Because it
yeah, it looks like somewhere in Denmark or something.
Yeah. The text looked Danish to me.
So what do you think about this, Jana and Slavko? Is it like, I mean, what do you think in general and about AI-generated video for business, I guess, for production purposes? Because previously it used to be mainly for fun. And is it like on the right track? Is it like a disaster?
So, in my opinion, from what I see, everyone from the people expect like perfect picture when it's not clear whether it's AI or a real recording. So, I actually don't know if it's a good idea to use AI, or we need more time for this. But it's interesting. What do you think also about this?
Well, I think that AI is just a tool. It's like, asking like a backend developer, like, do you think like Java is a good language to write like, I don't know, to write some, some kind of application? Yeah, it depends on the context and depends on the mainly it depends on the skills of a team who uses this tool. So the same is for AI generated videos. There are like a lot of really bad AI generated videos on the internet, and there are some pretty good AI generated videos. And personally, I like this one. Yeah, and like I think it actually like fits Danish culture. Yeah, but I can clearly understand why like people like in other parts of the world, did not get it. Because I spent like around 1 month of my life in like in Denmark, while I was working for a Danish company, and yeah, I can confirm that their like sense of humor is different. Yeah, to different to Ukrainian, different to Portuguese, probably very different to to American.
I think I personally don't mind this like kind of sort of sense of humor. I mean, it fits. It kind of gives like the right vibes for me too. I think what people might be a bit afraid of if they see some artifacts, they see like some sort of like crazy transformations in those which happen in those AI videos. So things which kind of are unnatural. There is this like what's that term like going into this like scary area where you see something looks like almost not natural but a bit unnatural. So maybe that's what people are kind of scared about, and maybe that's getting fixed with improvement of the AI models. I don't know if you played with new Nano Banana or Sora, other things. I'm thinking about maybe we could try and use that those in our AI, chatbots in our platform. Maybe create some AI videos so the bots can have like emulate like lively backgrounds or conversations with people. But yeah, I don't know where it is at the moment.
Well, yeah, I played a bit with Sora, just for fun to turn some of my photos to animations. I didn't try Nano Banana, and well, yeah, what scares me is amount of like fake videos that or like on on Facebook and other social media that like look pretty much like real, and they get a lot of feedback from real people as the things that happening on the video are real, and I don't understand that it will get only worse, because like the like AI video generation progresses rapidly, and average human on internet or some cognitive skills do not change. Yeah. So yeah. So over time, it will be just easier and easier, cheaper and cheaper to change like opinion of people on scale, by by posting some like AI generated stuff.
Yeah, that's scary. So it's like could be basically who owns more GPUs and who has more access to AI engineers and to GPUs infrastructures, which means global players obviously have the way to or leverage to influence the populations. So yeah, that's the new times. Like we're progressing towards that future. It's kind of inevitable. Next thing, it's I wanted to mention here on our AI news section is there is this paper of the day on Hugging Face, from code foundation models to agents and applications. And basically, it's a comprehensive guide to code LLMs, full lifecycle, data curation, deployment techniques, trade-offs, and research practice gaps. I didn't read it myself yet fully in detail, but I just wanted to mention this. Anybody working with LLMs, probably worth going through it. It's 217 pages, but I guess it's gonna be useful. So
well, with the speed of changes in the domain, I think by the moment when I will finish reading it, it will be already a bit outdated.
Yeah, I understand. I'm with you on that. I have the same issue. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember like what I had like one like relatively expensive course on AI, on deep learning. It was like Stanford professional course, something on
Yeah, I
like
saw in your LinkedIn profile, I think you had it mentioned somewhere.
Yeah, and the the professor who was leading the course like made a joke that, oh, I have like one paper here to mention, and it's already a bit outdated in the world of AI. It was published like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and she said it like 2 or 3 years ago, and like right now in the end of 2025, I think the speed of changes doubled, or even at least doubled.
That's actually what made me end my sort of academic career, because I was finishing my PhD in computer science here in UK, and then I could extend it or go into postdoc, go into other things, and I thought the pace of development in IT, even before like AI was like so popular, and there is a bubble now, but before that, when you submit a paper, you have to wait for like 6 or more months for it to be reviewed and approved. So I went back into sort of working on products, building like real IT software solutions, innovations, and I think, yeah, I can definitely resonate with what you just said. Anyway, so yeah, let's this is the article. This is the article. Everybody, read it, try to consume it before Slavko finishes reading it and it gets outdated.
I think I will feed it to some LLM and ask to summarize it to
Exactly
to 10 pages.
This is the way.
Yeah.
All right, next one. I guess this is from Yana.
Yes, so this is probably more like a funny story, but it's a kind of situation which often happens in real life. So as you can see on the screen, this cat has an extra lower pair of legs, and the user asked AI to remove it in Photoshop. Then AI was connected to the program, and we received a result. And results look like this. And so he made it, but actually not like we expected. And so the question here is, do you have any maybe advices or life hack on how to properly explain our thoughts to AI using a prompts to reduce the frequency of the problem, like in this situation, or maybe the situation with McDonald's?
I just want to add like a few words. So AI is lazy, yeah. So it will do what you asked for in the cheapest, in the fastest way, to just to follow exactly what you said. So, in this example, well, yeah, it didn't violate any like prompt rules, and like how to solve it. Be more specific in prompts.
Yeah, makes sense. I had exactly my thoughts when I looked at this. I thought lazy AI. That was my immediate thought. Yeah, I mean, but this is fun. So remove two legs, but it just pixelates it. So yeah, why not? Right. I think next one is also from Yana. What is this about? Yeah, Code Red, right?
Yes, so a few days ago, OpenAI hit Code Red. But what also is interesting, it happened 3 years ago after Google panicked over ChatGPT. Now the roles like flipped. And it actually happened after November 21st, when Google dropped the Gemini 3 version. It exceeded all expectations from the customers, and many people started using Gemini instead of ChatGPT. So now OpenAI are directing all their possible resources to improve the quality of GPT chat and to avoid losing a large number of users. And also here's the question, what chat do you generally use? Because it's like interesting. And what is your opinion about the leadership among AI chats? Will ChatGPT will still be the #1 in the future, or maybe Gemini will replace it?
Well, recently, like maybe less than 12 hours ago, OpenAI released the model ChatGPT 5.2. Well, I think it's not available on web UI, but it's available through API. And they say that it works like better than anything else on coding tasks, and it has measured improvements on performance like on other kinds of tasks. So yeah, I think just race continues, and it will go on until the first company will develop the AGI, and then I don't know. And what happens then? I do not know. Maybe the famous like 7 minutes war.
7 minutes war?
I do not remember exact number of minutes, but in some like in some articles about the future and about the things that will happen after AGI, there are mentions about like several minutes war, yeah, that will change everything.
Do you mean like some sort of like Skynet scenario
Yeah.
when there are like nuclear, whatever,
Yeah.
weapons overtaken by some, AI brain? Or do you mean something like more like futuristic where AI invents some new like technologies and new ways?
Yeah, I think it's like more like Skynet scenario.
All right.
Yeah.
Some doom and gloom scenario. So I mean, I personally, I try to believe and hope in some positive outcome there. So basically, that AGI will have sort of almost features, like almost have God-like possibilities. That would also mean that we are not so, I mean, we or our resources as humans would be not so interesting for it. So it will kind of teleport itself to some star, we'll use some resources from there. And for us, it will be either neutral, like ants, like ants are going somewhere and you don't want to squash them, or you just don't care. But, or it might be even like slightly, positive and beneficial to us, like, okay, these people helped, create me. So, let me just help them with some advice or, a little bit help here and there. I mean, I try to believe in that, but obviously all scenarios are possible.
Yes, assuming we will design it with, with some morale in mind, and it will not be able to disable like this morale in runtime.
I think like my understanding of AGI, it's almost the same as Singularity, and it's like it goes beyond of whatever we program to design there. So it will self-evolve. So whatever morale, whatever like Isaac Asimov or whatever like robotic laws we try and put there, it will just go beyond that. So my hope is just there is some higher like morale or whatever, there is some universe kind of level of morality which is still out there, which it will evolve philosophically, psychologically on its own, which goes. So hopefully, again, that's kind of my hope that further there, like you become like higher intelligence, which means you are also kind of, I guess, at least kind or at least neutral. That's all my hope there.
Well, this reminds me old movie by Stanley Kubrick, Odyssey, if I pronounce the name correctly.
Yeah, 2001, right?
Yeah. Filmed in 1970 something.
Yeah,
Before at least before I was born, and I'm 42. Yeah, where the AI prioritizes mission success to to human lives.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's obviously like the typical. So that's like a stereotypical kind of AI for movies. It's a good way to keep us thinking, keep us alert. That kind of, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave. Right? So it says, and it locks the space. That door or something. The astronaut cannot enter the spaceship anymore, and that's kind of typical. So. And I hope that the real AI or real AGI, and I hope that real aliens, right? So they're kind of kinder and they're better than what we are showing in our movies as humanity.
Yeah, I hope we will have a chance to see it, during our
we might
lifespan.
It's like singularity, right? It's like developing with accelerating pace. Cool. So yeah. And Code Red, Yana, it's Code Red, right? Sorry, Slavko. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Slavko, you had some other comment?
Yeah. I'm recalling one of recent interviews of Andrei Karpaty, where he says that we should not expect AGI to arrive soon, because once any big progress happens in a short period of time, we assume that that during next same length period of time we will get the same amount of progress. But in reality, it's progress, nothing. Progress, nothing.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, and he says that next years will be years of agentic development. So we are still far away from getting close to AGI. But, it's just one opinion of a human being who just who knows more about the modern world of AI.
Yeah, I mean, there are all sorts of ways to look at this. I agree with that. It's not like plain smooth movement. It's happening. So LLMs, ChatGPT was a moment when it became useful. Before these transformers and all this tokens predictions have been used have been around for years or decades, been used in smartphones to predict the next word when you type the text message, but they didn't reach that breakthrough yet, so it wasn't kind of useful in lots of other areas. Now we have this breakthrough, so similar things are probably cooking, preparing other breakthroughs. And obviously just LLM is not AGI, not leading into it, but also there are other ways to look at it. So for example, my brother who is based in San Francisco, who runs our DeepX team, that focuses on AI, machine learning, computer vision. So he thinks that this AI or super brain, super entity, is already around. It just lives through us. So it's already self kind of understand, has some sort of self-awareness and has some sort of collective mind through us. So it's not like some gods or some AGI sitting in the machine, but through us, through humans. So we are kind of that extension that makes it happen. So it's already LLM, and through all this infrastructure, internet network layer, and us humans as brains, and it kind of self-reflects and understands a bit of its own self-awareness. That's kind of a deep thought. It's probably for another 1 hour conversation. So but that's an interesting way to look at it as well. Anyway, so let's probably proceed. It's great great to talk about these things. I don't know why they called Yana, why they called it Cold Red, because when I hear Cold Red, I'm thinking like similar thing as Slavko, like saying like I'm thinking about AGI and something like happened, like something like that moment, like in Odyssey 2021, some breakthrough happened and computer is taken over or something like that. And in this case, it's just Google taken over in terms of as competitors. I would probably call it Code Brown if I was there. Anyway, so let's move forward. So we talked about McDonald's, the ads, the MCP protocol, MCPs. Let's talk about how you inspired this thing with the digital twins, Slavko. So basically, I think we discussed with you on Facebook, and I used your data set of President Zelensky's speeches, and that kind of inspired me. So maybe let's ask this: like, how did you come up with this idea to start creating this data set in the first place?
Okay, let me start like a few words about my background.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I should have started with that. So please go ahead and talk a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I used to be a backend engineer for many years. With Java is my primary language, and in 2022, I kind of burned out and decided that I want to do something else. And I started exploring machine learning, deep learning, AI stuff. And at the point when I wanted to experiment with some language models, I realized that I want to to work with something that is like close to Ukrainian cultural context. Surprisingly, back in 2023, there were not many open source models that were friendly to Ukrainian language. And I think like right now situation is a bit better, but like not dramatically. Yeah, and I wanted to. My initial idea was to create some model that can like respond questions about President Zelensky like speeches. So I started with creating a data set, and now this data set is updated daily. I had some virtual fights with administrator of President Govier. So I think I need to let in the cat. Oh, no. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. My like home IP address was I think was blacklisted several times. Yeah, but finally I have like set up a GitHub GitHub project, GitHub action that checks for new speeches once per 24 hours and and updates that data set. And after it was done,
GitHub actions, right? So it works just automatically.
Yeah. So
I mean, the system grabs the speeches from the official, speeches published by the presidential office.
Yeah, from President Govier.
Okay.
It actually just parses President Govier on daily basis. Yeah. Okay. There were like some tricky things, like several times the HTML structure was changed. So I had to adjust the parser because it doesn't use like AI inside to find to find right HTML text. So it's hard coded. Also, I was surprised to see that there are like speeches like in English version that are not in English. So if Zelensky gave some speech, like I don't know, in front of like in some Arabic country or in Germany, it was published like under English version of site, but the language of the text was not English. So for this I had to do some kind of overkill and integrated some open source personal language model to check if the language of a text is actually English. Yeah, to filter out.
Done quite a lot of work there.
Yeah, so, no, I had like inspiration and time.
That's great. Did people, like, anybody reach out to you? I see there is somebody made something with it. Any feedback you got except from us, like, or community? Any requests?
Well, not much. There was some. Yeah, this is like one year ago. Some Nikita asked like if it's okay if he will use it, and so, but I didn't get any updates. So yeah, actually, so after the dataset was ready, I got only like energy and inspiration to train some basic like BERT model, just to to predict a new word, and it was trained on English versions only. So actually, it was funny because it allowed to it accept like any text, yeah, and continued it, like auto completed it to look like more and more like a President Zelensky speech. Yeah. So even if I paste some beginning of some fairy tale for kids, it like the model organically continued it as a as a speech of Zelensky, even if it's about some fights between some some fictional characters.
And then they lived long, happily ever after, and glory to Ukraine.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so it was.
That would be nice to look at that. Cool.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think I like last time I like deployed it on Hugging Face was like a year or 2 years ago, and actually I trained it, I think, on Google Colab, like for free. Yeah. And this also explains like why I picked a small model, because Google Colab has like pretty limited resources. Yeah. So right now my my favorite like cloud to train models is Paperspace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Well, that's yeah. Thank you. I mean, that's good to understand this, how you came up with this, and what sort of prompted to create this data set. This certainly was useful, as I mentioned. This inspired me, inspired us to do that as well. So to do the twin kind of thing, the digital twin. So basically, so as I mentioned, we were doing like different business, like, so the website, we index website, we create AI assistant for that website. And then I think, so when we chatted with you on Facebook, and I discovered that you have this data set for President Zelensky speeches. I thought, okay, that's cool. I mean, I didn't even think about this, that so basically what we built there is, we built like a RAG bot kind of functionality. So how this works is you go in there and you kind of okay, probably the team is working on this, right? Okay. Some live demo issues. So basically you can go into so now you can go and index the website or add documents. So but at that point we didn't have documents. So what I did with your data set, I created this sort of static page. So your data set is sort of fetched into static HTML pages, and then I indexed it with our system. So it's like 19 megabytes, probably more, because we didn't yet build this feature to auto index. So probably you have more in the data set, but this means that your data set has been indexed. In this case, we use OpenAI embeddings, and it uses it as RAG, augmentation for OpenAI in this case for GPT model, and we can ask any questions to our own digital twin based on the data set, obviously, that you have from President Zelensky office. So that's how it works, and this means that because we have this chat, as you know, so it can run as a chat. So if anybody wants to ask any questions of our digital twin of President Zelensky, please feel free. I can type some questions, and this also then I went a bit further and experimented with some other ones. So I created like Sigmund Freud, Mahatma Gandhi, and I mean, in this case, so again, your data set inspired me, inspired us in taking this further. But I think we still need to do a bit more work. What would be fun is to create like a group chat. Again, our platform is easy to do that. So you can add multiple, digital twin personalities. So, and they can chat between each other, or you can chat them, right? So, or maybe you have some ideas how to do, what we can do here.
Well, yeah, it would be pretty fun to make those personalities to talk to one another.
Yeah, so that's what I plan to do next. I mean, we can experiment with it. I'll be happy to somehow to collaborate with you on that, to throw you some like examples and whatever. I mean, I haven't done that for the purpose, like for this call. It's not ready yet, but that probably will be the next step. And this is really fun to work with, because obviously there are all different like kind of directions and scenarios. So it's kind of categories. So the business AI assistance is a great thing. So I mean, you can index the website and have the AI assistant answer about your products and services. But it's so much fun to work with kind of digital personas, digital twins kind of thing.
Yeah, and actually, I was inspired by your like Zelensky digital twin, because actually you have completed what I planned to complete but didn't complete. And after this, I have exported my data set to CSV files, I think CSV or JSON, and created a chat GPT bot and fed these files to it as a knowledge, and it also worked pretty well. What I did not like back then, that it was not possible to update knowledge file with API. So if I want to make it if I want to update knowledge files, my only option was to do it manually with web interface. Maybe it's changed. I didn't check for months.
Yeah, so let's kind of exchange notes. Let's think what sort of fun and it's also obviously research. I mean, you can combine fun research and building some like useful products. So I mean, I don't want to just talk about like specific like or limit to whatever I can come up with specific applications, but certainly like if you have like Sigmund Freud or whatever, you know, some famous psychoanalyst, then you could ask them questions, and it doesn't mean that you should use like AI for psychoanalysis, but you can. I mean, you can have different personas. You can have like Jung or whatever, Hegel or whatever, Platon, philosophers, psychoanalysts, and you can ask different personalities about some psychological issue, or you know, same with like, you know, famous persons like politicians or maybe military advisors. I don't know, like lots of opportunities, right? So this should be fun, and it's interesting for research, and also could have like practical applications.
Or you can turn them into MCP servers, you know, and ask like a master model, you know, questions, and say that, okay, ask you know, ask Freud and Jung about this, yeah, and like your master model will ask virtual twins.
You should read this. I don't know if you read science fiction. This thing called Quantum Thief. I really love it. So it's by a Finnish author, Hannu Rainiemi. So he's a guy from Finland, but I think he has PhD in quantum physics, so he knows what he's writing about. But he writes really cool science fiction, and he called in his so future, like, I don't want to spoil it for you if you're gonna read it, but he basically, one of the concepts is that human minds get uploaded to the network, and like sort of snapshots, like AI sort of digital twins or something, and they can do some work on, they can unite together in some sort of like corporation or like some entities, and he calls them goggles. And why it's goggles, it's probably why we call a goggle, you know, dead souls, or, you know, something like that. That's why we created, you know, when we created the website with demos, so we call them goggles.
Okay.
And we're going to put more here. So I'm probably not the best image for Twin of Zelensky, but we're going to put more of them here, and then maybe do that thing that we just discussed with you. Maybe allow like group chats, and so people can add them, like talk to each other. So this is for me personally, it's like so much fun to work on something like this. And you inspired this, and with your data set there and with your work, that's where it started. So that's really cool.
But I'm glad, like really glad.
And again, this is really great book. So I mean, it's really fun. I don't know if you want to recommend any books or any science fiction that I don't know, or maybe AI books or anything that you want to recommend, maybe to anyone who like listening or will be reading our notes afterwards. I definitely recommend Quantum Thief.
Well, you know, recently I read mostly Ukrainian books in Ukrainian. You know, I'm starting to discover like, Ukrainian fiction books. But right now,
Can you recommend any specific one?
Well, you know, I'm struggling to translate the name in my mind, but the one I liked the most, like its original name in Ukrainian is "Я бачу вас цікавить пітьма."
Is it a new one? Recently new?
Yeah, like several years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's.
So,
Can can you write the title in the chat, or maybe send a link and we can send
I will write the title in the chat.
We can afterwards like send it, so whoever is going to be listening or reading, I think we'll just publish this on YouTube and also create transcript and just publish it so people can read it if they don't want to listen and wait for us like talking. Some people are impatient, so they just want to quickly read something.
Yeah, so I wrote it in Ukrainian, but I'm not sure if. Oh, how could I forget about Max Kidruk? Yeah, this is the ultimate modern Ukrainian science fiction. So he published like several years ago a really big book.
You write that one into chat as well, so we just I want to make sure I get it right. This is Ilarion Pavlyuk. Yeah, I should catch up with my Ukrainian fiction reading. How about yourself, Yana? Do you read any Ukrainian fiction like lately or before?
Well, I know about Max Kidruk, and as I understand, our guest mentioned the Colonia book. It's like a really big book. I didn't have an opportunity to read it, but a lot of people recommend me to do it. But another book of this author, I have already read.
Well, actually, I'm not a big reader. Yeah, and when I've seen the colony book physically, because my wife purchased one, it was like this, and I was like, no way I can read it. But it's actually, for me personally, it was very, very easy to read. And like it's pretty interesting, and it's just like one part of so it's just the beginning of the story, like this. And I think Max Kidruk has already announced a next part that should be released in a few months. Yeah.
So there is a novel called Colonia, Colony, science fiction.
Yes.
Oh wow, I didn't know. See, I'm missing everything. So that's really enlightening.
Yeah. This one.
Did you watch this new movie that's Ukrainian about the space? Because I didn't watch it, but I heard a lot of good positive feedback about that. There was new movie just released just a week ago or 2 weeks about space. I forgot what the title was. But
You're the universe.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
In Ukrainian, the cosmos.
The cosmos tag.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't able to watch it so far because it's unavailable in cinemas of Portugal yet. But obviously, once and if it will be here, yeah, of course I will watch it. Yeah, and for the context, I'm living in a relatively small city of a relatively small country. So city is Coimbra, country is Portugal. It's not on the coast of the ocean, and not much things are happening here. So if I want to have some cultural life, I know visit some Ukrainian stand-up artists who from time to time visit Portugal. So I usually need to drive to Porto or to Lisbon.
Yeah, I'm kind of a bit similar, but when you live with family, that's kind of probably normal. So when I want to get culturally enriched and mix with someone else, I drive, or I take like public transport to go to central London, or I just fly to meet clients or meet other people in the United States. So need to get out somewhere. So that's totally understandable. Oh, cool. Yeah. So thank you so much, Slavko. I don't know if you have more time. I have more time if you want to continue. Because
okay. Just let me reply to one message, and I'll be back.
Okay. How does it work for you, Yana, and for you, Slavko, if like we continue like maybe 20 more minutes?
Okay.
It's okay.
Works for me.
I think we kind of planned this for like one hour or something, but let's talk a bit more. It's so interesting, and we can chat a bit about any other things. I don't know, Yana, if you have any questions, any more questions for our guests. I definitely can talk more, but I don't want to take all the floor. Or maybe Slavko, you want to raise any topics or any items you want to discuss?
I'm open to to listen for your questions at the moment. So and later on, I can share some details about what I'm working on right now. But your questions first.
Oh, that would be interesting.
So maybe I will just ask a quick question. You mentioned that you live in Portugal, and why do you decide to live here, not in other countries?
Okay, it will consume from 5 to 10 minutes to explain. Okay.
It's a loaded question, a loaded answer. Okay, let's go ahead, please.
Yeah, sure. So before the COVID, I had a chance to visit Spain, with my partner, now wife, and we overall like it here. We're thinking about like maybe someday we should move to this part of the world. But before the final decision, we wanted also to visit Portugal, and our tickets and all the bookings were cancelled by the COVID, because it was planned for, I think, April, May 2019. So yeah, we didn't visit Portugal as tourists. And in 2021, like in the beginning of 2021, we were living in Odessa. So I'm born in Odessa. I lived for like 38 years of my life in Odessa. We were looking for new apartment to rent. We checked like some options in Odessa. We didn't like anything, and just one evening, it was like, oh, maybe Portugal. Ah, yeah, okay, let's go to Portugal. So this was how the decision was made, yeah. And we bought. Okay, so my partner applied to a university to study Portuguese language and culture. Oh no! First, we had to decide like where we go to, because there were like 4 universities that allowed student visa for students of like language and culture courses. So they were Lisbon, Coimbra, Porto, and Braga. Probably like the name Braga doesn't say a lot to you, but okay, it's still like, in Portugal it's known. Yeah, and we were like choosing between Porto and Coimbra, and decided that Coimbra is probably the better option because it's in the middle of Portugal, and from this point we can like explore everything. Yeah, so she applied to the course. She applied for visa. She got rejected. She like provided some extra arguments. She got her visa. We started preparing our CAT because it's the most complicated part to import a CAT to European Union. It takes like around half a year. Yeah, and in September of 2021, we moved here without any friends here. Just like, hey, let's go. Yeah, but so so far it works. Yeah, and obviously in 2021, the idea was like, okay, if we will not like it, we can get back anytime. And actually, I had like my flight to apply for a long-term visa to, I think, to the beginning of March of 2022. So yeah, I had, okay, obviously reading the news, I had canceled it in advance because I realized that no, I'm not ready to risk that much. Yeah, but okay, so now Portugal is our home, and we're trying to find some some fun here. For example, in October of 2021, my wife, she just started visiting university for the courses, and she sent me a picture from the inside the university of Center Русский мир. Yeah, and we were
Russian
lucky.
culture or Russian Mir Center.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Russian cultural influence office. So the Русский мир Foundation, it's like a big institution. It was created by Russia. It was funded from Russian budget, and it has like its offices all around the world. So it has a lot of offices, mostly in some educational institutions. So here in Portugal, the only one happened to be like in the city that I picked to relocate. So since October 2021, I had like idea in my background that I have to do something about this office. Because okay, it was obviously spreading Russian propaganda. Inside one of the oldest universities in Europe or in the world. I do not remember for sure, but the University of Coimbra is one of the oldest functioning universities. Yes, so back in 2021, I realized that I cannot do anything about it, but I started summarizing and collecting information in a Google document. Then I worked a bit with a journalist after the invasion.
Open that article on the screen. That's it, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it's already translated.
Yeah, I also translated to English.
Yeah. So yeah, I tried to work with journalists, and even there was an article saying that university stopped working with Русский мир Foundation, but after the article, nothing changed. So as the center continued functioning, and in early 2023, we start finally speaking Portuguese, because it was not very easy for me, and knowledge of Ukraine, of English, some basic German, it didn't help me to get better in Portuguese, because Portuguese language belongs to a different family. And communicating in Portuguese was and still is very challenging for me. But back in 2023, that by the luck, so it was not kind of like a big plan. I just, a friend said to me, "Oh, by the way, my friend is started the course. The course starts today. Do you want? Maybe you should also want to go there." And I applied, and next day was my first day on intensive course of Portuguese. But it was happening in the same building as the Center Русский мир. So for 3 weeks, every day I was passing by a board with something about Russian language, with some pictures of Kremlin, with some mentions of Russian church. And at the same time, I was getting better in Portuguese. Yeah, so yeah, and I tried to contact the director of the faculty where it was always happening, both like Ruski Center Foundation Center and my language courses. He ignored my emails, so I said, okay, I will be writing an article. It took me maybe 2 months to write an article with very, very basic level of Portuguese. So I had a lot of help from the outside, from my wife, from my Ukrainian friends, from my Portuguese friends, to review most of the translation, and it took some time to get it published because Observador, which is very, very respectful Portuguese media, well, some people call it Portuguese Guardian. They were saying to me that yeah, we're going to publish for months and a half, and so I ended by it's at some point I talked to a president of Ukrainian association here in Portugal. There are many associations, but this is the biggest one. And he published the article in some very, very small, very, very local news site, very, 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 very small. But the next day, and the next day was the next day was 9th of May, which is very special date for Russians. So on 9th of May in the evening, my article about the Russian propaganda was mentioned on the national television in prime time in the evening. Yeah, and the article on Observador with some editings. So they removed some photos, I think, but it was published 2 years after, or not 2 years, 2 hours after the. After mentioning this topic on national television, so next day everybody wanted to talk to me and my co-author, whom I invited mostly because she speaks perfect Portuguese. So she had around 5 interviews next day. My friend and my co-author Olga. Yeah, and also the next day, the university fired the Russian professor who was living here since 1988 or so. Yeah, so, I know. I'm happy. I've achieved my target. My target was just to stop him from what he's doing.
So you have done a lot of activist work there, and obviously it sounds like you had to put in a lot of time and effort, but it paid off, and people took a notion. They gave attention to this, and even you got this publication at Observador, and as you mentioned, TV exposure. So that's, I guess that's really great. Thank you for doing that. Obviously, you worked as, it's like decentralized network of Ukrainians trying to do everything they can in different places of the world, trying to change things little by little. So that's important.
Yeah, but what is my secret? I didn't have a job at the moment, so I was just looking for some project to spend my energy, and this article became such a project because it was fun, it was something new, and it had a lot of personal sense for me. Yeah, and in parallel, I was studying in my own pace some AI stuff, some reading books, watching articles, participating in some courses, and I was trying to do some some pet projects, some prototypes. So one of them is related to Zelensky speeches, but I realized that that language models, no doubt it's the future, but I didn't feel like I really enjoyed personally. Yes. So I spent more time on like AI for computer vision on edge. The first idea was to create some AI target tracking system for drones. And yeah, I have built some prototype, and it was working on very small and cheap hardware. Yeah, but
small and cheap. Are we talking Raspberry Pi, or are we talking NVIDIA Jetson, or something else like
it
one
was
of those like cheaper boards?
The
Intel something.
No. It was a rock chip based board. It's had a size of Raspberry Pi zero. Crap! I mentioned that I'm not very good in Portuguese, but I just noticed that I wanted to pronounce zero as zero, which is the way to pronounce like this zero in Portuguese. So yes, it's the environment
the environment influences, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like small and cheap. By cheap, I mean like back then it costed, I think, below $40. Yeah, it somehow worked, but I had like I worked on this project with another people, and at some point, like we we disagreed on several topics. So I was pushing to use some chipboards, and another team member was pushing to use Jetson, and it was kind of deal breaker. So we just split, and the project died. Then I did some. Okay, the next idea was to create some a model for visual classification model to to guess the location of a building in Russia. So I picked several regions. I did some probably illegal parsing of Google data, or Google Street View data. No? Well, okay, no, actually, because on Google Street View, I needed not only to know the location, but also to know the direction. So I think it all started with some data set on Kaggle or on Hugging Face with some a lot of addresses of Russian buildings, including their locations. So to get the data to get their images from Google Street View, yeah, I also had to turn the camera to look exactly at the building. Yeah, so I collected this kind of data, like attempted to train a network, but it worked like so. And also I had like some talks with OSINT guys, and they said, yeah, this might be useful, but later on nobody wanted to use it, and I switch to a next project. It's visual navigation. So, and this is what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I know that you're doing some work on like for defense for Ukrainian armed forces of Ukraine direction. I just wasn't sure if you were wanted to talk about that or mention that. So but yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned. So yeah, there are definitely like data sets, and well, like there is a lot of work, lots of like depth and that work and research, and when we done some experiments in that direction, there is also like this on RoboFlow. Actually, there are some open data sets which you can use. in RoboFlow universe. But obviously, once you do it properly, you work with your own ones, and
well,
that's a deep direction.
The thing is that my target still is to no, first, at the moment I'm not working for for any Ukrainian institution. So I'm like solo researcher.
Yeah, that's a research, right?
But obviously my target is to build something that will increase Ukraine's capability to defend itself. So what I'm building is a service that creates a mission knowledge file and an edge software that can guide a drone through some very long mission with very low error that doesn't grow over time. So the mission using just like internal sensors and a camera that's looking down, looking to the ground. And right now I have already validated it in 2D space. I already have solved any possible potential legal issues, because initially, obviously, I used Google Maps data for experiments, but legally, I'm not allowed to use any derivatives of Google Maps in public.
You're very conscious, Slavko, legally conscious, but we know that these large players like OpenAI, Perplexity, they're scraping from each other in huge amounts, right? And then in many cases they don't do it. It's not allowed to do that, but then they make some deals, so they go through courts where they have to resolve it afterwards.
I'm not OpenAI yet, if I can use another data source that is free and legal to use, and it doesn't cost me a lot to switch to this data source, I use this option. And also, since at some point of time I will need to talk to investors, I think it's pretty good thing to mention that from the day one I'm trying to I'm paying attention to legal to legal stuff.
Obviously, that's a responsible thing to
do. So right now I'm trying to. I'm in process of applying the solution that I have validated on pure two-dimensional space, to test it in the simulator in 3D space.
It's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. It'd be great if you could send some or links or something. We could maybe, if you want to add that, so we'll publish in the blog or some sort of publication. So if you want to add links, you want to demo anything, that please just send it over to me, to us, and I'll just add it to the publication.
Okay. At the moment, the only one thing I have published is a 2D, two-dimensional video that I created 3 weeks ago or so, and it has audio in Ukrainian. But once I'll have a video from simulator ready, hopefully next week or 2. I will share it. And also I realize that I will need to create it with at least with audio track in English.
Sounds great. Got the deal. So we'll be following for those updates.
That's it for me.
Okay, then maybe the last question will be, it's more like historical or political. So what will be happening in Europe over next 5-10 years from the point of view of technology, political evolution, war or peace, and whether Europe is a good place to live and work in AI and innovative space? What do you think?
Taras, it's a question for you.
Right, for me, you're a guest, Slavko.
Okay, well, first,
Well, what's your opinion? Yeah, I mean, it's I'm thinking about those things quite a lot, but it's interesting to hear your opinion.
Okay, well, first, well, regarding why Europe is a good place to live, because in my opinion, chances that something terrible will happen to, okay, at least to Portugal, in my opinion, are in next like 5, 10, 20 years, they are lower than chances of something terrible happening like in United States, no, obviously in Eastern Europe, yeah, but in 2025, in my opinion, it's very hard to predict what will happen in next 5 years, because like in Portugal, many people, including myself, are concerned about rapid growth of popularity of like far-right party. And yeah, there will be a president's election next year. And
so there is ultra-right party in Portugal as well.
Yes, and they actually like in like one like parliament elections, they have had like 5% of votes, and on the next parliament elections that happened, I think this or past year, they had like 20-something%. So the popularity increased like more than 4 times, like in like 4 or 5 years. And yeah, and their leader will be running for president next year, and the leader is, well, I do not like him a lot, and the party, it's it's like leadership type party where there's like one leader with no name and a lot of no names. It reminds me a bit Ukraine in 2019. Yeah, but good thing is that here, like the latest election that happened in Portugal, were like municipal elections, and Portuguese people did not vote for this party because they are ready to vote for the leader, but they are not ready to vote for no names who post photos. Oh, here's me with famous also guy, and his name is Andre Ventura. Yeah, but
cool name, yeah, cool sounding name. Like
yeah,
Ethora or something like that. Detective, animal detective.
Ventura, yeah, but he's not that fun.
Not fun. Okay,
no.
That's fine. So he's not. He has not been a comedian. He didn't run like some popular show.
No.
What about his party? Do they have lots of taxi drivers and stuff, or?
Well, I know. Well, so Portugal is divided. Is divided like from south to north, and it's visible on maps. So this party has a lot of support on south of Portugal, and very few to no support at the north of Portugal. And like he is anti-immigrant, openly anti-immigrant, and in European Parliament, he was elected to European Parliament, and he's in coalition with Viktor Orban. So
nice.
Yeah. Do you want more red flags?
I think the picture is clear.
Yeah.
But I mean, this happens everywhere in Europe, right? In most of the European countries, there are like right or far right parties come into, and same in UK. But also, I think from another point of view, it's kind of natural. So it's kind of natural reaction or immune response from the society, because like in UK and same probably in Europe, like when you hear like politicians, like only those like from the right sort of more right spectrum, they talk directly and openly, and people probably like it, because normally politicians like sweep issues on the carpet. They kind of mellow, they like not decided and decisive about everything. And these people like openly say, okay, we will fight immigration, we will fight those and those things. We will. This is like this is our policy. This is rubbish. This should stop.
Yeah.
And that's why people like they become more popular, because the center or the left doesn't offer direct some solutions and open, honest conversation. So
yeah,
that's happening.
Yeah, like I want to like quote a few words in Ukrainian. Office простих рішень.
Yes, simple
Office of simple solutions. So people want to hear that all the problems will be solved easily and will be solved by somebody else. It can be Volodymyr Zelensky, it can be Andrei Ventura, it can be Donald Trump, it can be Vladimir Putin. Unfortunately, So but the interesting thing about Portugal is that Portugal is struggling for immigration, but by saying this, I mean that young Portuguese people are moving to another European countries. So, young Portuguese people are actively moving outside of Portugal. So having
where are they moving to?
Well, okay, I know that there is a lot of Portuguese citizens living, I think, in Luxembourg or Netherlands, but it's just a historical thing, because like 40, 50 years ago, there like a lot of people from Portugal like moved there. I do not remember exact name of a country, but it's I think it's Netherlands. Right now, Germany, Denmark. I think mostly Germany and Denmark, but I didn't check the recent, recent data. The only one data I can refer right now is some social data where like around 20 or 25% of young people responded that they plan to leave Portugal soon. Which is it's not very good number, and like in this context, being anti-immigrant, it looks like a dead end. Like, if young people are leaving but they are not arriving, it's a bad like long-term strategy.
Well, at the same time, we know, and I'm sure I know a lot of Ukrainians and lots of immigrants probably from other countries. I mean, Ukrainians definitely, who arrived to Portugal and built businesses there, or do like some IT work and some other things. So maybe there is like that effect.
Well, yes, it compensates a bit, but I don't think it can work in a long-term perspective. Also, for me, I forgot this point, but it's important. Back in 2021, for me, one of reasons to pick Portugal was the fact that even back then, before the invasion, here lived more Ukrainians than Russians. And right now, I think the proportion didn't change. So that obviously number of Ukrainians living in Portugal increases. Unfortunately, number of Russians living in Portugal increased, but I think that still there are like more Ukrainians.
Okay, so that's perspective. A little bit of your perspective on Portugal and Europe. Like, what do you think? I don't know, like yes or no. Like maybe like what's your forecast for the larger, bigger war in Europe over next like 5 or slightly more 10 years, like with Russia or something?
Well, I'm not a domain expert. Based on people who I think are domain expert, I think that it's inevitable. This is complicated English word. So yeah, inevitable. Yeah, thank you very much. So I think it's inevitable, and I think it. Well, okay, in some form, it's already happening, because when Russian drones cross the border of any European Union country, no, it is kind of like military action. It's just very new and it's not regulated, because classical starting of a war is when a soldier with a rifle without permission crosses the border. Yeah, like it happened like in Crimea in February of 2014. And when it's a drone, or when it's like, I don't know, some internet or power cable being damaged underwater by some unknown actor, well, it's salami tactic.
Yeah, totally. And what this means for the whole world, because we are talking about AI, we talk about technology, we love building technology, we love building great, interesting things, we love doing research, and at the same time we see ourselves obviously we are just merely humans in this whole things, lots of things going on worldwide, and geopolitical processes. We try what we can to to protect the dear values and country, Ukrainian culture, things like that, and try to help and support our values and our causes like freedoms and other things. But at the same time, there are multiple global things happening around AI, for example, as you know. So there is NVIDIA making lots of chips. United States wants to there is race of OpenAI and foundational model companies like Anthropic, Google, Apple, X AI. So Elon Musk's company. Everybody is racing to build, Grok, those kind of things, projects. Everybody races to build AGI or something. And also the countries are conscious that this will be also important for the economy, for their survival, and maybe even for their defense. So whoever is more advanced in AI will be ahead of others. And there are always processes happening in the world, and how they're positioning versus each other. United States, China, chip wars, Taiwan, NVIDIA chips, the research of AI, Europe staying behind a little bit, looks like, because the regulations, less of GPU. There is almost no GPU manufacturing in Europe. GPU manufacturing is happening in Asia, in Taiwan, in South Korea, and in US they're trying to do some. Obviously in Netherlands they have this TSMC, or what's the ASMR. So those companies, the company which designs the chip, so that's important. But it looks like Europe might kind of stay behind, and all this global processes. There is race between US, Silicon Valley, and China in chips and AI kind of race. What do you think about that? Where it's going to end in next few years, or 5-10 years?
Well, okay, Europe has a lot of inertia. Yeah, so it's regulated, bureaucratic, and it's slow to make decisions. But I hope it will change soon. Okay, not very fast. Yeah.
Will it be competitive? Will Europe be competitive with US and China? Will it be dragging behind, or will it have its own way, but it will still be a global, global player?
Frankly speaking, I do not know. And obviously, I would like Europe to get better in the AI stuff. And I see like recent news about like investments of like big companies like Microsoft, to like opening like some new data centers in Europe, which okay, it's probably good, yeah. And like regarding United States, I do not expect any bright future for United States, because in my opinion, it's like empire that is already like going towards its sunset. Well, right now, not many people believe that like something bad can happen to United States like in like next 10 years. Okay, people who do not listen for Donald Trump a lot do not believe. Yeah, so okay. I do not know, but I hope that Europe will get to speed in this, in this innovation race. I doubt if it can compete with China. Yeah, at least we doubt it if it can compete with China like in next like 5 years. So the chances are, in my opinion, chances are higher that the China will just buy a lot of stuff in Europe. And overtake Europe like in this way without any single shot. But the 7 minutes war can change everything.
Yeah, and let's hope that war it's not, it happens in a simulation of a brain of a computer that reached AGI. It simulates the consequences, decides it's not worth it, and decides to build something beautiful instead. And let's hope this competition, obviously it's going to be useful and for technology, for humanity in the long term, most likely. But yeah, hopefully this competition stays in the research in technology and advancements kind of area, because there is so much that can be done in different sciences, humanity, healthcare, and education that can be done. So hopefully both humans and machines can focus on synthesis and creation. All right, so yeah. I think we could probably end, and I would say like let's try and end at these positive notes. Otherwise it's difficult where we could end up, and we will focus on doing whatever we can to reach those positive outcomes. While you were talking, also you might have noticed I've been asking our digital twin, President Zelensky, some questions like, is Portugal a good country? So this is like typical, like right? Portugal is indeed wonderful country, rich history, welcome people, has shown great solidarity and support for Ukraine during this challenging time, which reflects in commitment to freedom and human rights. I believe that countries that value this principle are essential partners in building a better future together. So it would be cool even like if we could add like, President Zelensky's voice here, or like make some videos, but I don't want to get too much into like creepy area of deep fakes and those kind of things. We should keep this probably like you're interacting and make it super clear that you're interacting with simply an AI agent which is trained on some data sets which were published there by the President Zelensky office. And obviously this is helpful for research or like educational or other purposes to try and get this perspective from his persona, but it doesn't mean any real persona. And in terms of the next 5-10 years, well, I guess this is like more like political statement, right? So he says we'll face significant challenges and opportunities. The conflict in Ukraine. Okay, war in Ukraine has reshaped the geopolitical landscape, and the future will be defined by a few trends. integration of advanced technologies, including AI, Europe's recovery and growth, digital governance, smart solutions, public administration, will continue to strengthen its unity. So this is a big question, right? So most likely, yes, because it makes sense. There is a talk about unified defense forces or something else, but this is a question if this is going to happen. Most likely, because there are external threats to Europe, but yeah, we'll see how that will be developing. Democratic values, human rights, yeah, that all makes sense. Okay, any last comments from Slavko, from yourself, or from anyone, Yana, from yourself? Or otherwise, we could finish. This was a great conversation. We could do more.
Yeah, I totally agree. Taras, thank you very much for organizing it, for inviting me. I had great time, and yeah, I'm open to to meet and talk more. I think we have more topics to talk about.
Yeah, next time we could be more focused on something like maybe we have like an iteration of those like AI chats, digital twins in the group chats, and we could show some practical and fun implementation. So that should be interesting to talk about. But yes, thank you so much, Slavko, for your time, for your lots of things, thoughts, and information you shared with us. Thank you, Yana, for your help in organizing this. And everybody, yeah, have happy holidays ahead of you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hopefully next year will be, yeah, a better one.
Yeah, thank you very much. Also have great holidays, and see you in 2026.
Exactly. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye for now.